All right, let us begin page 7. The pieces you will need to cut are, there's quite a few of them. I mean, there's up to G. I guess that's kind of normal for my pages. It's not that many. Piece A, 6.5 across by 9 7/8. Piece B, also 9 7/8 by 4 3/4. C is 6 1/8 by 3 3/8. D, 4 inches across, 9.5 inches long. E is 3 3/8 by 6.5. F, 6 inches by 8.5. And G is 6 inches by 4.5. Okay, so get all of those cut, and then we'll bring in our scoring board. Okay, piece A, half on the 6.5 inch side. Piece B is half on the 4 3/4 inch side. Piece C is half and 5/8 on the 3 3/8 inch side. So a little gusset. Piece D is half on the 4 inch side. Then rotate it a quarter turn. Flip it over. So you've got the score line at the top, now showing the mountain side. And score at 6 7/8. Okay. Score piece E at half on the 6.5 inch side. F will be scored at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side, so right down the middle. And G will be scored at half on the 4.5 inch side. Okay, so that's all your scoring. Put your scoreboard away. Guess what we're doing now? Just guess. Yes, you got it. If you guess score tape, you're right. Score tape on all those 1/2 inch sections. This one does not get any because it does not have a 1/2 inch section. Remember that we're going on the valley side. We're leaving a space. Okay, easy peasy. Okay, everything is normal scoring except for that D piece, so miter your corners on the rest of them. Okay, no score tape there. Get these little bitties out of the way. Okay, so this is going to seem odd, but we are going to measure in. So have your piece in front of you with the 1/2 inch section is showing the valley side, and then your other score mark is going to be on the right hand side. From the left, we are going to measure in 4 1/8. Okay, and then we are going to make a mark. Okay, 4 1/8 from the left hand side. And we are going to cut that mark and then cut out all of this part of the score line. Okay, so it's going to look like that. And then we're going to miter those corners. So you have something that looks like that. Okay, it will make sense in a few minutes, I promise. Alright, so let's start to put it all together. Just going to get my pieces in order here. I think they might actually be in order already. Oh, so first, fold and crease. Where's my bone folder? There it is. Okay, grab your last base page. We are going to adhere piece A onto the right side of your base page. Tie-back sections, covered sections, if you did that, are to the left-hand side. And there is A. Opening to the pages right there. Your B piece is going to go on the left side of the base page. So far, so good. So for piece C, you have options. So you can either just adhere it on its own, just like this, to the inside of the pocket on the top right of the base page, so that it opens like that. Okay, you can do it just like that. Alternatively, if you would like to attach this to an insert that goes inside the base page, which is what I'm going to do, then we can do that. Okay, so if you would like to make this extra insert for inside the pocket, we'll need to cut two pieces, one measuring 7 by 9 3/8. And the other one measuring 6.5 by 9 3/8. Sorry, I know I'm throwing a huge curveball into the whole process here, but that's what's happening. Okay, so you've got those two pieces. We're going to make one score line. We are going to score the larger piece, the one with 7.5 on the top. We're going to score it at half. We're going to add some score tape to that. Going to miter the corners, and then we are going to adhere those two pieces together. Okay, so adhere these two together. Okay, so now you have the option. You can either put the C piece inside the pocket like I showed you, or you can adhere it to the top right on the inside of this insert piece, just like this. Alright, so now it's going to fold like this, and this part is going to go into the pocket, and then your C piece will do the same thing that it would have before. Now it's attached to something instead of being on its own. Okay, so now it's here, but it's attached to that insert. So you can do that, or just attach it by itself. Totally your choice. So it will just meet your B piece. Okay? Perfect. All right. Moving right along. We've got your D piece. Okay, so this confusing little thing. I know you're going to need some patience for this page, I tell you. Okay, so we've got this piece here. So D has a little flap, and then it has this part back here. So we are going to attach it to the bottom of B, just like this. Okay? So that's why we cut it this length, because this is the width of B. Okay, so now it folds down like that. All right, makes sense. And now, with D in the closed position, we are now going to adhere E onto the left side of D, just like that. Okay, and now take your G and your F, and you are going to adhere G to the bottom of your F. Okay, so that's just going to go onto the bottom. Just like that. So now you've got a trifold. I'm just going to move this out of the way for just a sec. Okay, so right now I want you to take a really deep breath, because this whole next section, I got really frustrated when I was trying to figure it out myself. So I don't want anyone to get frustrated. I'm going to explain it best I can. We're going to get through this, okay? It's a little bit confusing. I'm getting some caffeine in my system before I start. Okay, so the center section is what we're going to be working with. We are going to measure in 1 3/8 from the bottom. Okay, so you've got the F piece, you've got it at the top right now, okay? So 1 3/8 from the bottom. And you're going to make a mark. Okay, and then you're going to measure 2 3/4 in from the left edge. 2 3/4. Okay, and then make sure that you're still at the 1 3/8 of an inch. Okay, perfect. So you've got this mark here. What I want you to do is punch a hole where you just made that mark. Okay, so punch a hole. Fantastic, we have a hole. Alright, so we are going to take a pen or something of that nature that you can put kind of in the hole. And our goal here is, you have to imagine this closed. We need to work with it open, but imagine it closed. So what we need is that when it's in the horizontal position on your page, your D and E are free to open. Okay, so it's even with the top of D, but it can open. But then we need it so that when you turn it, so hold your pen in the same position, don't move it, So when this is turned horizontally, it should enable the C piece to open and be right at the edge of the page, but not over the edge of the page. Okay? So when it's turned vertically, D and E can open. When it's turned horizontally, other way around. I said it backwards. But you know what I'm saying. When it's up and down, C can open. And when it's sideways, D and E can open. Okay, so you should have a mark there from your pen. So there's a mark right there now, a corresponding mark. It's hard to see, but it's right there. And we are going to punch a hole there. And then we're going to take a brad and we are going to put the two together. Now it might take some fiddling to do that. It took me quite a few tries to figure out exactly where that should go. So be patient with it, keep working with it until it does what it's supposed to. Okay, so right now C can open, and then when you turn it this way, D can open. Alright, so now we are going to add some magnets to keep everything closed. Okay, so first we will close F to G. So, score tape, where are you? There you are. Okay, so now that is closed down. Now we want to have magnets so that it's locked in both positions, horizontal and vertical. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a magnet on the back side of FG, okay? So a magnet on the corner back here. Okay, so we've got two magnets there and another piece of score tape. Okay, so it's right back here. Okay, so make sure it's in the right position. There we go. So we've got one magnet. Now we want one down on this corner as well. So do the same thing. Put a little piece of score tape on that corner back here. Two magnets. Another piece of score tape. Okay, and then let that one in here. So now we have two magnets here and here underneath. But now we want to turn it and have it locked into place when it's vertical as well. So using the same magnets we already have back here, so we've got one here and one behind here. So add one magnet and more score tape. So add some score tape here. Whoops. Okay, make sure it's in the proper vertical position. And there's your magnet there. And then do the same thing with this magnet down at the bottom. Okay, so down here, got one now up there. Okay, so we've got a magnet here and one here that are locking it down when it's horizontal, and then two vertically, one here and one here, that are locking it when it's vertical. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Right, now we want to close D to E. Okay, there's that. And then the back of D to B. Can you guys hear my stomach rumbling? I guess I should probably have some breakfast. It's rumbling pretty hard. Okay, so D to B, from the A to the base page. Okay, A to the base page, and then do one from the back of D. This is the back of D here, down to A. And that's the last one. I think. Okay, like that. Fantastic. Guess we could do one. Let's do one. I'm going to do one C to the base page as well. I think that's kind of optional. You don't really need to do it. I'm going to use the one that's already there on the flip side, just for extra. I don't know that it's really necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. So like that. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to ink up my pieces of pattern paper for this. We will need to remove the brad in order to put the pattern paper on the B piece back here. So we'll have to disconnect this. But we just had to keep it on there for putting the magnets on. But now that we have the magnets and we know it all works, now we can add our pattern paper. I'm just going to make myself some eggs real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, page 7, decorating. You'll have to take this part off, obviously, to get this piece of paper down. So, oh, what did I just lost the brad. Okay, well, anyway, I'll have to find another brad. So I've got, on the inside, I've got this polka dot paper, and then this is the inside. This is going to be the front of it. So just make sure, so you don't need anything for the back part. Oh, there's the brad. So I'm going to put this, trying Do I want the peach or do I want the white? I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to put this in the center. I can't decide now. This would be good for journaling though. Let's go with the white. I'm going to go with the... Or do I want the butterflies? I'm going with the white. Okay, so now go from the back and make sure you have that hole through the paper still. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we want to put something on the back just so these magnets don't catch when they're turning. Okay, I'm just gonna got a little bit of extra adhesive here. I don't want that. Okay, so let's put this down to cover those magnets. And now on this part I've already put quite a bit of the paper down. So I've got it so that when you're looking at it, there's the butterflies on these two corners and the stripes on these two corners, and then it will be the red in the center. Okay, and then when you open it up, I've got that gold paper there. And then the roses down there, I wanted to use it somewhere. And then when you open it up, I've got the white here because I wanted places where the pictures weren't competing with the more patterned paper. And then like that, so you can pause the video anytime to like kind of see what I've done. I just did some paper piecing here. And then for the insert, so polka dots, and then kind of a little paper piecing mix of the golds and the white, and then nothing on the back. Okay, so I'm going to put that back in. Sorry, I kind of got carried away putting the pattern paper on, and then I realized that I didn't. I'm like, oh, I better leave some to do with you. Okay, so let us put this piece on here. Okay, and then let's re-punch that hole. Okay, now make sure that hole is punched again. Okay, let's put this back in. Okay, so we've got all the pattern paper on, except for this one piece on the back, so we could put this back on and open the tines. Okay, open those tines. And put a little bit of score tape on top of those tines. And then put your pattern paper on. Alright, fantastic. And that is that. Okay, and then I'm going to probably put one of the ephemera cards on top of that. But that is your page 7. And then when you open it up, like that. Alright, so now we will get our pieces ready for page 8.